Okay. This is our general design for our user interface. The top left, you can select up to 9 samples using this panel. And here are our play pause button and our stop button, but the graphics for them haven't really loaded. Um, this is the where you can upload samples, and you can see if you come down in the code. So how we set the upload sample is if you once you select that button, it finds a file on your computer that's either an MP3, a WAV, an FLAC, or an AIFF, and then it saves the file name and file location as a variable, and then here we have the box position or the selected sample saved as a property in the app. And this here checks if you have a sample within that selected spot. And if you don't, then okay, so this checks if you don't select a file after in the pop-up after pushing the upload file button, then this will catch that error and just give you a little alert. And also this saves the frequency and the audio array of your uploaded audio file as properties of the app, and then this creates a time signature. So it creates a time signature that like allows you to convert the sampling frequency into like seconds, so you can get how many seconds the timestamp for each individual point on the within the audio array. And then this creates an audio player object for your current selected sample. So this is what allows you to actually play and pause the sample and manipulate it within the app. And this plots the actively selected sample on our axes along with the time. And then these are all of our backups, our original backups of the sample that we save for later for chopping.
Okay, yeah, so for the direction, it reads the value in the switch. So if it is reversed, then it'll flip the audio array. And then for the fade in and out, it'll get all the values that the user inputs and round them. And then if the fade in sample is greater than 0, then it'll test if the user chose linear or exponential, and then it'll calculate the according array. And then if the fade out sample, same thing, is greater than 0, it'll test linear or exponential, and then it'll edit the audio array with the new values.
Okay, we're on playback speed, right?
Yeah.
For playback speed, it's really simple. It just grabs the value and changes the FS play rate or sample rate, and that's basically it. Then for delay, basically, I think it's supposed to add an echo effect, so it gets both the values of the intensity and percent, and then it basically creates a copy of the original sound and stacks it on top of this audio and plays it. And for equalizer, I created another function which is all the way up at the top. The function is pretty long, but what it basically does is just splits the audio into 6 frequency bands, and then it uses the values from the slider that the user like adjusts and applies that onto the audio, mixes it back together, and creates the sound. That's it.
Okay.
And then for the volume, it just multiplies the audio array by the volume that the user inputs.
Okay, so the chop function, the first thing it does is it checks if the active sample is playing or is paused, and if so, it requires a restart before chopping, just just to prevent any errors. Um, and this once again gets the currently selected sample. And what it does is it takes the value from the slider and sets that as a value within a logical array, and it collects values that are either more than or equal to or less than those values within the time array. And you index that with the audio array to get a new audio array that is cut. And then this is where we replot the all of our arrays onto the axis with their new lengths, and then it changes the lengths of the slider to the new length of the chopped audio.
And then for this part, it just checks once the user enters the fade in and fade out values. If it like exceeds the audio length, then it'll throw an error so that the code doesn't not work.
Okay, this is for our reset sample modifications button. And what this does is it just resets all of our modification values in within the app. So when the audio is played again, those values are at their default settings. That this includes our volume and our play direction and our equalizer, etc. And this is the reset button for our chopping function, which allows you to reset all the time and audio array to their original size. And that's done by the save properties of the original array that you get when you upload the samples. Yeah, and this replots the arrays and resets the slider limits.
So pretty much, basically we just have a bunch of these button push functions here, all for the sort of piano keys that are on the synthesizer part. And so essentially what we're doing is we're like mapping the notes to the corresponding frequencies that they're at. And then sort of we have in this function that we have, and after that we're taking it and we're sort of making these waveforms depending on whichever one you select from the bubbles basically. And then after that we sort of normalize the signal and store it, I think a little further down, but yeah, right there. And then it's sort of displayed on the little chart.
I guess we'll do a little demonstration how this works.